It's our pleasure, right at this moment, to welcome the team captain of Team Navy, who put together that victory on Friday. He's also a brand new father, legendary BYU receiver, our colleague at BYU TV. Our pleasure to welcome Austin Collie back to the Wise Guys. Hey, did I get it? Did I get everything in there? And businessman. Do you want me to add the businessman part?
Hey, by the way, Austin got me into an investment, by the way.
It worked out?
It's killing it right now. It's killing it. So I have a lot of gratitude for Austin, not only for taking me with the first pick, but it helping me with a couple of good investments for sure. Yep.
Nice job, Austin.
Shout out to Tandem.
Yeah.
Tandem Ventures.
Tandem Ventures is they got us, and Austin does a lot of work with them, but yeah, he got me. It's looking really good, Austin. Thanks for doing that, man. I need more retirement money.
Let's start with a shout out for Brooke. We got this picture.
She's
Austin,
the real all-star.
Delivered a baby boy last week, 8 pounds, 15 ounces. We're going to show that pic on the podcast. Just envision like an angel sent from heaven. But those on the stream can see.
Look at that.
Hey, do we have a name yet?
His name's Mac. M-A-C.
Just Mac. All right.
Mac Collie.
Mac.
Middle name's Austin. It's Mac Austin Collie. So his initials actually spell out Mac.
Not intended. I like it.
How's Brooke doing?
She's doing well. She's doing really well, man. I mean, for the fifth kid at 40, she's a champ.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Congrats, man.
I shouldn't have said just Mac, but there's a family joke. So you know Nicole and Blair, my daughter Nicole and Blair. Austin knows my whole family. Austin's family and my family go back to
way back.
Our daughter Nicole is named after his mom, Nicole. And she always goes by Nikki, but I love Austin's mom and dad. They were at the Alumni Game. I got to spend a little bit of time with them. That's a treat for me, just to get together with my old teammate and with his amazing mom. But they named their youngest, or their second youngest, Jack. They took him over to Grandma's house, and she said, now what's his name? And they said, Jack. And she goes, Jack, just plain Jack. And so now we call him JPJ, just plain Jack. That's what we call him, JPJ.
Just plain Jack.
So I just said, just Mac? Yeah, JM, just Mac.
Hey, Austin, Bullseye on the stream says, sometimes when you invest with Austin, magic happens. So
exactly right.
How about that one?
I mean, I like the sound of that. I'm going to have to tell Tandem they may want to use that.
I like it.
Hey, congratulations on the 25-20 win at the Alumni Game. I want you to do what you do all the time on BYU TV. You speak as you think. So what was Blaine's performance like from your vantage point?
Okay, so I'm going to be honest here. Okay, first series, Blaine, right? Not so hot.
No.
Right? We missed the double move. We had a nice little Dino, little corner post. We threw the corner.
And he was open, and I missed him.
Which is perfectly fine. But I'm going to tell you, Dave, hands down, I was saying to my dad after the game, I wish someone had the back end view of that game-winning touchdown that Blaine threw, because it was next level. Like I don't think anybody watching the stream can get an idea of just how tough of a throw and window he had to complete that ball in. And it was like, I'm not kidding you, it was next level. Like I want the footage. The behind the behind the QB kind of angle to just show how difficult of a throw that was, because that was insane.
You're too nice.
That was a throw that night.
It's interesting because it's the first time all night I actually threw it as hard as I could throw it, because I was afraid if I threw it as hard as I could throw it, I would injure my shoulder. And then Austin said, okay, Rob's going to run the back of the end zone. We're running these outs on the play side. There can be a small window. You're going to have to drill it. I'm like, okay. And I was like, man, I got those 2 picks to make up for, so I'm going to throw it as hard as I can throw it when that window opens up. And if my shoulder goes out, it'll be the last throw of the night. And by golly, I could still throw it hard, and my shoulder didn't go out. That was the most biggest surprise, that the shoulder didn't go out. And then Gavin's still mad about it, because he and I were watching it on the tape. And he's like, Dad, he wasn't even open. And I go, no, he was open enough. Because Gavin was covering the backside and walled him, and it went right past Gavin's arm just as Rob cleared him in between the backers. And he's like, dude, he goes, that was a crazy catch and a crazy throw. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad that was my last throw, and that I don't have to think about those stupid picks in the first half and not knowing where I was throwing the ball. But
hey, once the game starts.
Listen, it's tough.
Yeah, once that game starts, it's just magical.
It was so fun.
Players young at heart, but in older bodies, and they revert to kids, teammates for 90 minutes or so. And you were out there in the middle of it calling all those plays. How much fun was the whole thing?
Oh man, it's so much fun. And you want to know what makes it fun is I felt like I had a great group of guys. I told them at the very beginning, the thing that makes this the most fun is if everybody invests into it and like buys in, right? Like if everybody can just, compete to win, that's going to make it probably the most, the best experience, the most exciting experience, not only for the fans, but for everybody else playing in it. And because I was a part of it in the year that we did it, there would, and I'm guilty of this myself, but you play a couple snaps and you'd be like, all right, I'm going to pull off. I'm going to hit the sidelines and just chat it up with the guys.
Yeah.
And that's fun. But it's not as fun as it was on Friday night because every single one of our guys was bought in, man. Like they wanted to win, and that just took it to another level.
Yeah, my favorite play might have been when Fowler caught the touchdown pass.
Yeah,
because he kind of broke open late, and Charlie made a great throw to him, and he comes down with the ball, and then Jake's right over there, and he says, "What did you see?" And he goes, "I didn't see anything. The ball hit me in my arms, and I caught it and fell over."
Yeah, that was the best.
But we were all so. Just the reaction of everybody. We were all so pumped for Fahu to make that catch. That was it's just so fun to be out there with him when he did.
Yeah, everyone jumping on him. I was glad he got back up. Yeah. And a big smile on his face. Former BYU star Austin Collie's on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and distributed by the Deseret News. The Alumni Game creates a vibe for the new season. It's 5 months away, but there's fans in the stands and folks watching on BYU TV just ate it up. How eager are you for the August kickoff after walking off that field Friday night?
Oh, man. I'll tell you, it's the worst. This is the worst after March Madness and after the Masters. It's a very dark time in the Collie household, right? Like the sports we're interested in watching are over. Yeah. And it's just nothing. And no offense to baseball, but I can't watch baseball. I can't get invested into baseball on the television. It's a sport you got to go witness live, right? But so it's up until now, or from now till week one of college, man, or NFL preseason. It's a dark time in the Collie household.
Well, hang in there.
Hey, Retzlaff did. But I was just telling Dave before we went on there, I'm like, man, Jake actually did a great job on the mic, breaking down things. Although there was that time in the first half after I threw the pick, and he was just ragging on all the quarterbacks, and he didn't realize that I had an earpiece in my ear the whole time. And I walked over while he was on the air, and I go, Jake, I have an earpiece in. I can hear everything you're saying, and I'm right here. He's like, oh, dude, oh. So
I talked to Jake today. He's still feeling good about his performance.
He did great, but now let's break him down a little bit, Austin. Like, what do you need to see from Jake as a leader, and what does he need to do with these receivers in the offseason to be better prepared for fall camp so they take a step forward this year?
I don't know. I think the leadership role, and I think this is naturally going to happen with Jake, just given the fact that he's got one more year and he had so much success. I think last year's success, the momentum he's going to be carrying into this next season, is going to be such a difference maker because of the national recognition and the notoriety that he has been getting. You can't underestimate what that does for a player. So I am super excited to see week one, how he comes out. I think it's going to be far different than the way he came out this last year. I mean, even though the year prior he had a little bit of experience, I mean, he was on the national scale, right? He was in the national spotlight and continues to be. I mean, I was with Peyton and Archie a couple months ago, and Archie leaned over to me and goes, how about that QB that you guys have at BYU? And the fact that, guys like that are taking notice of what he did this past year, I mean, and what that does for Jake's confidence and what it will do is only going to just be, I mean, it's just going to continue to compound. And, that's only going to have a quarterback to have that much confidence. I mean, it is honestly going to trickle down to every facet of that offense and every position.
It's interesting. When Steve Young came on the show back in the fall, he was saying the most important thing for a quarterback is to own the data, right? Like you have to know everything about what's going on. Big lesson that I remembered even more when I was playing the other day is we're looking at plays on the cards, and I'm thinking, man, I don't know who's supposed to do what against which coverage. I can't even remember what the backside routes are by the time I get to the line of scrimmage. Like when you're playing quarterback, it's like, okay, on this route, it's inside out away from Mike. So Mike is my first read. If they roll to 2, I'm going to do this. You know where everybody is on the field. You played with guys that absolutely owned the data. Like Max at BYU, like he knew where everybody was and what was going on. I don't know if there's any better than Peyton Manning and Tom Brady at owning the data and the history of the game. But you as a receiver, these guys own the data, but you have to earn their trust. They have to go, I know the data, and I know that if Austin is in this exact spot, this is going to be a completion. What did you have to do as a receiver to earn the trust of those guys? Because that's something big for those guys that were as good as they were to go, if he's in the right, if the read sends me to Austin, I'm going to Austin because I trust him. How did you build that with those guys?
Yeah, I think it has to do with consistency and route running and catching the ball, right? I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. I think, there's some receivers, man, that run, can run great routes, but they're coming out of their breaks in an inconsistent manner. They're coming out of their breaks at different angles, depending on different coverages, or even if they're seeing the same coverage, depending on their footwork at the top, they're not coming out at the same depth, same angle consistently, which, to me, I think is, my goal is always to be able to run a route. And if the quarterback is blindfolded, he could throw to a spot and know that spot, and I would know that spot well enough to where, he really wouldn't need to look over there or really wouldn't need his eyes to throw it, right? And that just comes down to consistency and route running, knowing your depths and being at the right spot at the right time, and then just catching the ball, right? Like I think ultimately, man, guys are going to be guarded, but if a quarterback feels like no matter how covered you are, you're still going to come down with the ball like that. I mean, that confidence is that's hard to replace. That's hard to replicate.
I asked you about this to think about it coming into our interview tonight because we were going to ask you, and Blaine mentioned those 3 quarterbacks you played for. What was the moment, if there was one, when you realized that you had earned their trust? Let's start with Max Hall, who you caught a number of balls and touchdowns from, made him famous and all that stuff. But what was the moment with Max where you go, you know what, I got him?
I think with Max is a little different, just because of my proven track record before. He and I had known each other. We had worked actually at camps together. So we had done BYU camps together and been on the same 7-on-7 team at BYU camps. And so, I think he was looking forward to me getting home off my mission, especially given what I did my freshman year. And immediately I feel like, I was kind of a built-in guy for him. And then, just making sure that I stay reliable was the biggest thing. I think for Peyton, the moment I realized I had his trust or that I kind of graduated was going into the first week of playoffs. We're playing Baltimore. We had a first round bye. And my rookie year, he was hard on me, right? Like he had expectations. I mean, I was the only change. I was the only change pretty much in that huddle from their 2006 Super Bowl team, right? So I kind of had a lot of pressure on making sure that I knew the playbook and that there was no drop off from the years prior, given the fact that I was that only change. And so he was hard on me at a pretty high standard and had high expectations for me. But then he finally came to me going into playoffs and took me aside and he said, "Hey, I just want you to know, the reason why I'm so hard on you is because I know where you can get to. Like, I know where your potential is. And I know how good of a player you are." And so from that moment on, man, I knew, like, all right, this guy knows knows what I'm capable of, and trusts me. And, it's my job to make sure that I live up to it.
Yeah.
For Tom, I don't know. I don't think I had enough time with him.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think I only caught I want to say 12 passes on the year. But part of that was I was injured, so I had a rehab, et cetera. But never really had that chance.
He didn't ride you like Peyton? Tom was nicer to you?
No, because I think at that point in time, I'd already kind of proven myself, right? So, he was picking my brain more than anything about what we were doing over in Indy.
Yeah,
and Indy was like leading the way on offensive philosophy and, man, just wide open passing game.
Yeah,
Peyton was throwing it all over the place to these guys. That was a fun time with the Colts.
Hey, we told you we'd be quick with you because now you've got a new infant and all that stuff to take care of. So we appreciate you jumping on with us tonight.
We don't want Brooke to be mad at us, for sure.
We're in Brooke's fan club, so we want to stay there.
Typical dad fashion, I got to run to Home Depot right now.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
For the baby's room.
Get there. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Austin.
All right, gents. Good talking to you.
Great coaching the other night.
Blaine, throw of the night, Blaine.
Yeah.
Throw of the night. That was top tier stuff, dude.
I love it.
Listen, you want to know as a head coach.
Yeah,
if you retire now, you'll never lost.
And by the way, Austin's already declared we're keeping the team together.
Is that right?
It's like in basketball, when you're winning, you just stay out on the court. And so we're going to bring back the whole same team.
Court.
And you can put the challenges together. And now that we know what we're doing, we're not going to have that slow start with picks and stuff. We're just going to whoop on somebody next year.
Okay, all right. We've heard it here.
So,
thanks, brother. Congrats again.
All right, gents. We'll see you.
Thanks, Austin. See you, buddy.
That's Austin Collie, one of the greatest ever suit up at BYU. Now he's 1-0 as a coach. He can relate to LaVell and everybody now, and don't think he won't be bringing that up throughout all of our coverage this fall on BYU TV. Thank you for watching The Wise Guys.
If you like what you're watching, you can help us out by subscribing and hitting that notification button.